In the middle of five thatch properties that are built up in a square. The fire spread in both directions. The crews were met with a fairly intense fire when they have arrived. A lot of problems due to the lack of wind with the smoke sitting down around in the area, so the crews were working with no visibility whatsoever. The fire spread across the thatched roofs, and we're trying to stop the fire going any further into some roofs that aren't roofed with thatch. We're working hard to try and identify the people who own the houses so that we can help and look to support them. The crews have been working really hard in some very difficult circumstances and have done a tremendous job in limiting the impact of this fire as much as they can. Our primary role now is to look at trying to investigate how the fire's been caused, trying to support the people of the community so that we can do what we can to support them, and also to look at what lessons can be learned from the fire for other people.
How many firefighters have you had here?
Well, we've got 20 fire engines here at the minute, so around about 100 firefighters are engaged in firefighting duties at the minute.
And where have they come from?
Well, from all over East Devon, so there's consumed from as far as Sidmouth up above Tiverton and round about into South Devon as well.
And when and how was the alarm raised?
We've got 999 call about 12:30 to say that there was some smoke around one of the thatched roofs, and as I say, when the crews got here, the fire was already fully involved in one of the roofs of the properties.
And now, is it still going on?
Yes, the fire's still burning. We've got it controlled on one side of the square, but it's still burning on the other side, and we're trying to stop the fire spreading any further into a few buildings that we can save. What the crews have been doing is they've been trying to control and keep the fire as low as possible to give themselves time to go in and take as much property and to salvage as much property out of the houses that they could.
Has it been difficult to tackle?
It's been particularly difficult because of the amount of smoke. We've got a bit of wind in now that's taken the smoke away, but certainly in the initial stages the visibility was completely nil for the firefighters who were on the scene.
You're using foam at one stage?
Yes, the foam's a really effective firefighting agent for keeping the fire down and stopping the fire spreading. So it's particularly good for calming the fire down to give us time to salvage and to give us time to get resources in place to stop the fire spreading.
When you got here, was everyone out of the cottages?
Yes, yeah.
Are you surprised that there hasn't been any sort of injuries?
Well, pleased that there was no one inside the properties and we haven't had any injuries, which is good, and we need to make sure that we continue to deal with the fire safely. With the timber roof joist burnt away, then the walls are exposed. We need to make sure that the walls are safe, and what we obviously don't want is the walls coming down and injuring anybody. One thing I would add, I think it's a timely reminder for people with thatched roofs to think about, whilst we don't know what the cause of this fire is at this stage, to look at their own safety. They're looking at advice that they can get on our website, the Devon and Somerset website, over fire safety in thatched properties, and in particular whether they've had their chimney swept recently, because that is a common cause of fire in thatched properties.
Do you have any idea which cottage, where it started?
Not this time, no. No, I'm afraid not.
And is one cottage completely gutted?
Yes, where the fire started is burnt right through, and we've lost the roof and some of the contents as well. Yes, yeah.
And what number is there?
Don't know. I'm not sure.
And these are historic buildings, is that right?
Yes, I don't know at this stage from what year they've been built, but again, a real pity to lose such traditional buildings, and for the people who obviously own the buildings as well.
Do you know how many people, how many homes?
Not at this stage, no.
How many people have been evacuated?
Pardon?
What surrounding area? Any of those properties affected?
No, not at this time. No. So the fire's confined to the houses within the square. Sorry, your question?
I was just wondering if you knew how many people have been evacuated.
No, I don't. No, not at this time. No, sorry, I can't.
So just to summarise, in terms of houses that are potentially destroyed or partially destroyed, how many are we talking about?
We're not sure how many houses there are in the square at the minute. We've lost houses on three sides of the square, but the houses that aren't thatched, we're looking to try and save those as well as we can.
So if we're talking about families potentially made homeless or families who have lost their homes, how many units would you say?
At this stage, we're not sure, I'm afraid.